Hey everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and today I'm talking about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem. So, it's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and naturally, it's pretty entertaining. It's not very deep, it's pretty standard as far as Ninja Turtle movies go. It's not really reinventing the wheel as far as the greater franchise, but I feel like that's kind of what's really fun about the Ninja Turtles as a franchise. What's so fun is how elastic their adaptations are. Like, whether it's the 80s to the aughts to the 2010s, each generation are familiar, but also different enough that they still feel unique to yourself. And oftentimes, your favorite is just which one did you see when you were 10? Like, I know everybody falls back on the 80s cartoon, but the Ninja Turtles from the 2003 series, those are my Ninja Turtles. And these turtles, I think, are pretty good. These are, for one thing, they like really lean into the teenage aspect of the title. Like they sound a lot like teenage boys. Part of the like so much of the fun and the entertainment and the comedy from it is just watching these boys play off of each other. They're like talking over each other, tripping over the words. They're giving each other shit. They really do feel like teenagers, and you have teenage boys actually voicing them, which I don't think has happened before. And it does. It really do nail that teenager. It's not like, oh, it's a teenager, but they kind of talk more like an adult. No, this is they feel like millennial-ish Gen Z teenagers, and I really like that. Second, and really need to make the bring the point home. This movie is gorgeous to look at. Well, it's very well animated. I wouldn't call it gorgeous. It's in fact kind of gross sometimes. Like it, for one thing, it feels comic bookish. It's sort of like Spider Verse, but like much less clean looking, much more grimy. Like it looks grimy. There's a lot of shadow. There's a lot of great shadow work. New York is kind of dingy and gross to look at. And oh, but speaking of, but like every every human in this movie is weird and gross. It might creep some people. It might creep some kids out. Like I saw like two or three background human characters whose heads are just like this weird fucked up looking rhombus. It actually reminded me of Psychonauts in that way. You know, just these like weird oblong shaped human beings. It was kind of fun. And yeah, there's I also like the little stylish flares in like in the animation, because like for example when there's like an explosion, it looks like a puff of smoke but like done in scribbles. It was really cool. uh what else? Oh, it also probably would creep some kids out. Like you got Ice Cube as this villain Superfly, who's just this big hulking, like gross looking mamma jamma, and he's big, and don't want to get into detail of like what they do with him later, but like he probably would creep some kids out, and I think that's cool. Like I can't. It's been a while since I felt like I saw a kids movie that like would legitimately scare some kids. You know, I mean, yeah, we've had Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but like this is like a gross looking movie, and I think we need more gross movies. My luck, just kind of like spice things up a little bit without sanitized and just too clean looking. A lot of them do look like. And your mileage may vary on whether or not you're into that, and your mileage may also vary on what they choose to leave out and keep with the Ninja Turtles lore. Again, going back to that, like the elasticity of the turtles, um, there's a lot of like, there's always occasional changing up of like, where did Splinter come from? Where do they learn their stuff? What's their origin? Um, can they do anything unique? Um, and and the way they go about explaining how Splint about like they're like sometimes there's sometimes sorry sometimes there's a sometimes you have Splinter who's like he has like all this back he has this like grand backstory where he's like the the point where he's like, oh, he's explaining how he knows their knowledge of their ninja skills because he comes from this like clan of warriors, and like he's got beef with the Shredder and he's trained his son with the knowledge of all of the warrior knowledge of all of his forefathers. No, there's none of that here. They are just like a rat and his 4 turtle sons, and he just teaches them karate and stuff, which is fun. It's fine. I'm not super attached to the lore myself, but I do see some diehards might take umbrage with that, and it does make me wonder how they'll like keep that up if they keep doing more, because they did tease a sequel at the end, and or God forbid when they if they start to bring in like Crane or any other Dimension X stuff, because but that would be interesting. This was co-written and produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and I think they are 2 of the writers, and I think they really know what they're doing here, even if their last foray into animation, Sausage Party, was a whole lot less good than this. But I think this is really well put together. Also, it's like 90 minutes long, which is pretty refreshing these days. Most movies are like kind of max out. Most movies kind of average out about like 2 hours in length, which it's nice. It's nice to have just like a breezy, small little movie like this. Have to shout out the name of the boys who play the Ninja Turtles, because they're all really, really great together. I got the names here. You have Nicolas Cantu as Leonardo, Brady Noon playing Raphael, Micah Abbry as Donatello, and Shamon Brown Jr. as Michelangelo. They are all wonderful together. Like, their chemistry is so magnetic and fun, and they do feel familial. They do feel like a family of brothers. Also, Ayo Edebiri from The Bear, love her. She plays April O'Neil, and she's really good here. And this is a different take from April. She's less headstrong, like she's determined, but she also has like a lot of social anxiety, which they illustrate that in very funny ways and gross ways too. And she's really fun. You have Jackie Chan as Splinter, who's a good fit for like this older, goofy Splinter. But again, I guess it's one of those things where like I can see a lot of people really liking this. I'm not entirely sure if like this would be anybody's favorite. But again, I wouldn't know that. I can't know that for sure. Because like this could probably be the Ninja Turtles that a lot of kids these days growing up. There were like a couple families in my theater, and they were pretty into it. And I think this would go down as like, I do see this being a childhood classic for a lot. Also, you got some sick 90s hip-hop needle drops. Like, you get Blackstreet, you get A Tribe Called Quest, and they always come in right when they need to. They're very good drops. Don't want to... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I think in terms of... I think if I had any, like, major problems with it, I think some aspects of the characters could be a little heightened up. Like as much as I like the boys, I don't think they feel quite unique unto themselves. Like, they say Raph is prone to violence and anger driven, but he doesn't quite feel that. You've seen that a little done more in other versions of Raph. This movie in particular kind of does this thing where it illustrates its point. It illustrates its theme, follows through, and resolves its theme, and then they state the theme that they just resolved. And they did that like twice. Like they had like played it a little too obvious, if you ask me. Yeah, I think this would be this is a very fun movie. It's really cool to look at. I think it's really stylized. I think it's fun. It's very funny. A lot of laugh out loud moments here. Fun use of the turtles, fun designs, and I would really like to see them do more. I really want to see them follow through with that sequel tease. And yeah, I think this would. I highly recommend this. I would probably give this like a a light 7 out of 10. Definitely something you want to see with like a crowd. Definitely maybe bring your kid. And yeah, that's Mutant Mayhem. Comment below, share, like, subscribe, do what you want. It's your free time. Do what you. And yeah, I'll see you next time.